It's being able to have a bride being 30 minutes late for church, and you tell her, you see this your makeup shot and this your gown that you've just put on now. I have a shot I want to take of you right now. And getting her ease up the tension of being late and give you maybe 2 minutes to take that shot. Most brides are tense, their mother-in-laws are already calling, their parents are already, where are you?
Yeah.
You need to be able to control moods, and that's one talent that I really love that I've developed over the years.
That's skill, bro. That's skill.
Hold up. It's black and white. It's black and white.
Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Chapnik from Chapnik Pictures, and we are here at the Next Generation Studios, which has been very gracious to offer us a space and host us for this our very special program. We are still working on the name. We are still working on that name, but for the moment, it's a program for your perfect wedding, And we realize that we have there are a lot of brides out there who need to know the right information for their weddings. They don't have enough information for wedding. They don't have the right information for their wedding, and so we've decided to, speak to these wedding professionals, speak to these wedding vendors who have been doing this for quite a while, who know a lot about this thing, who have done so many weddings, and so they are here to give you all the right, everything that is right to do in order to have your perfect wedding. And today we are going to be speaking to a very special guy. When I sit near him, I'm like, hey, wonders. The man will bring me sense, a very big sense, man. Too much sense. Yes, his name is Glen Amungwa, and he's a photographer, amongst other things. I'm just going to let him introduce himself. Welcome, Glen.
Thank you very much, Nick. Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. My name is Glen Amungwa. You can call me Glen for short. It's the easier name. I'm a filmmaker and a photographer, and generally, I'm just a cool person.
Very, very cool. And he's very, very modest as well.
Yeah, to be quite modest, I'm a really cool person.
Yeah. So, Glenn is a photographer. I'm a photographer as well. For how long have you been doing this?
I cannot pinpoint when I started shooting weddings, but I know exactly when I took interest in photography. That was like 2011.
Mm-hmm.
I was in high school then. My uncle back then had a photo studio in Bamenda. They used to call it Ricky Photos. It was like one of the popping spots. Back then they used to use a Yashica camera. So, so these pinhole cameras where you shoot, you rewind the film, you shoot, you rewind. So
36 shots.
Yeah, 36 on one row of film was 36 shots, but I think you had to waste 3 when you loaded the film because the first 3 were probably exposed to sunlight. So you don't want to risk that on the client. So I think 2011, I started going to his studio to assist him during holidays because he would normally have so much work, but it was just administrative work. Maybe in the next 2 or 3 years, I took interest in taking pictures in his studio then, and eventually he started taking me out with him when he was doing weddings, and I one day he risked letting me go and handle the whole wedding by myself. It didn't turn out so much of a disaster. It turned out fine, and from then to now, I think maybe sometime around 2015, I've been shooting weddings like since 2015. Then I started working with Vanillaboi Studios sometime 2018. So
you started working with Vanillaboi Studios. Very modest guy. The guy is the person who created Vanillaboi.
No, I'm not going to take all the credit. Before it was Vanillaboi Studios, it used to be Vanilla City Entertainment Company. We used to do music, but I was a photographer guy, so I was like, okay, I want to have I think when we created Vanillaboi Studios, right, it was more of a music video production company. Photography was more of it was not really wedding centered like it is these days. It was cover arts for artists, creative photography, model photo shoots, and things like that. So, I mean, I created it. I co-founded it, I should say. I give credit to some of the guys I worked with back then.
Yeah.
We started it together, and I'm working hard now to keep the vision alive.
Yeah. So, what was the thing, that focused you a little bit more into weddings? Because I know you do so many things. You do so many things now. So,
I first of all love shooting weddings. Amongst everything I do, shooting weddings is my most preferred because I mean it's always a unique experience watching two people decide to marry and you're the one that has to immortalize that day.
he's married though. So he's speaking from experience.
Yeah, so I mean, even before I got married, man, I really love shooting weddings. Like that no anticipation of a wedding event, the anticipation that comes with it, like being able to know to because as a wedding photographer you think one activity in advance. Like for example, if they are in the court or maybe when they are taking the vows, while they are saying the vows, you're already anticipating what the bride or the groom is going to do immediately after the vows, and it's like a whole day spent living ahead of everybody. I just love that proactiveness that it gives you, and when you succeed to successfully anticipate the whole day, man, it's very satisfying.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. So I think I love shooting weddings first of all, and that's basically it for me.
Yeah, so you have been shooting weddings since 2015, you said?
I cannot pinpoint when I started. I can't remember when I shot my first wedding.
How many weddings have you shot in now?
At least 200. At least. I cannot count.
Oh boy.
I cannot count. I think 2020 I shot about, because I don't only shoot for Vanillaboi Studios. I have colleagues who often solicit my expertise, if I should put it that way, for the when they have events. So I work with a lot of photographers in Cameroon, and altogether weddings I've shot, I cannot count, to be honest, man. Maybe if I go back into my archives, I can bring out all the clients I've worked for, but I cannot count how many weddings I've shot. But it's at least 200.
At least 200.
At least 200.
So, like, we want to bring you the best. Brought you the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, shot more than 200 weddings.
This year alone, this is 2022, right?
Yeah.
I shot from January, because I didn't work in January because of the African Cup of Nations. I was engaged in that. So most of my January weddings, I just pushed them to somebody else. From February to now, I've shot in the likelihoods of 25 weddings.
Wow.
25.
Wow.
I could count if I want to do a head count out. Right now I'm about 15. You know, there are those weddings that are not big events, that are just small sort of events that I probably forgot that I shot. You know, but it should be around in the neighborhoods of 25 weddings this year.
So when he tells you something, yeah,
Best believe.
Best believe. He's not saying it from the air.
Yeah.
He's saying it from experience. The kind of experience that they tell you that you should bring. How many years experience? He has many. He has many. So listen very well to what he has to say from now on. So what would you say your booking process looks like? What's the experience?
So the first point of contact is when the couple, probably the event planner, they're looking for a photographer, and somehow they hear about me either from a marketing effort that I make, of mostly like 80%, 85% of the time from referrals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because people really trust the referral process. Like if I'm asking you, please, I'm looking for a good photographer, I trust your judgment that you're going to give me somebody good. So once you refer, I'm coming to that person already trusting their work. And I love weddings that come from referrals already, because they have somebody who has told them, this guy is the best for you. So when the client gets to me, there is a whole conversation that we have. I mean, we've had cases where the couple, they get to you and they're like, hey, how much do you shoot weddings? You want to ask them a question, they're like, I just want to hear your amount. How much do you shoot weddings? I'm like, you know what, just go and look for somebody else. I'm not your guy. Because for me to give a the cost estimate is one of the last things that we talk about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's one of the last things we talk about. I need to know where your event will be. I need to get the vision, because the premise of what I deliver is set by the client's vision. The client needs to tell me. Sometimes they even come with references of how they want their wedding to look like. And that gives me the drive. Sometimes your wedding might just need one shooter, one photographer.
Yeah.
Some clients are specific that they want a wide angle shoot and a close-up shoot and a telephoto shoot, so they need like 2 photographers.
Getting photographers for their weddings.
Yeah. So those kind of things come up, and it helps me to carve out exactly your package, because most people come to me, they're like, send me a document that says your price list, and I'm like, I don't have. Even if I do, because I did at one point in time and I realized it was just bullshit, like it doesn't work.
Yeah. Even though I kind of realized that sometimes you need to kind of balance the 2 systems, and I usually tell my clients, this list that I'm giving you is just a kickoff point, because everybody's wedding is not the same.
Exactly.
And this is just to tell you what is out there, and then we'll know what you want, and then we'll pick and choose, and then we'll see how.
Like a template, right? It's true that I have that template that I'll give, but the truth is, a lot of people tend to hold on to that template so much, and I'm like, so most of the times I try as much as possible to not even bring it up. I just tell you everything we can do, and I ask you, what else do you want? Because we can do whatever you want us to do.
Like I say, we are the photographer's vision. The photographer's job really is to make what you think about your wedding to come out in the best possible way.
Exactly.
So you want to take the thing that you have in your head about your wedding, what you're thinking about, the way your wedding wants to look like, and giving it to this person, and let this person give himself the tools to make you look at it and be like,
of course. And just like, I mean, this is going to be a very technical example, but I once had a client who loved ultra wide shots, right? And so when they contacted me for their wedding, I was like, so what exactly, I was getting their expectations, and they didn't share with me that they wanted ultra wide shots, which would have required me to get to their wedding with maybe 10 to 15 or something to get their shots like that. So I went to that wedding with a telephoto. I did most of the work with the telephoto, and at the end of the day, I loved what I did, but it wasn't what they were expecting. And as a result, we had a point of disagreement there. And I feel like if we had spoken about that enough, those are just some of the instances that gave me the idea that I should really solidify the client's expectation, help them to get clearly what they are expecting, because most people don't really know what a photographer has to give them.
And that really brings me to say, this is the real reason for this thing that we are doing here, this discussion that we are getting, because we really want to give you the tools. We need you to know what you're getting yourself into. You don't want to just call up a photographer and just think that he's going to tell you everything, because really, like I said, we are bringing your vision
if
to life.
A photographer tells you everything without you sharing something with them, you should be afraid. You should be very afraid.
So what would you say what has been the difference between when you started shooting weddings till now? What do you think has changed for good, or what do you think has changed for bad, and what do you think could be better?
I'll start with the positives. A lot has changed for good in terms of, let's look at it, right? Like money wise, photography is becoming more sustainable for people. Like how much I make from photography now, 5 years ago, I wouldn't smell half of that from 2 years of work. So I think it's becoming more sustainable. People are understanding the importance of paying your photographer well and enabling him to deliver. And I think the standards keep increasing as well every day, equipment wise, talent wise. And I think one other thing that I really appreciate that has changed for good in me personally is my talent. I mean, I've always had this thing, because for me, right, the most reason why you're paying me, as Glenn
Yeah.
is the mood I, as the photographer, I'm going to put you in order for me to get the pictures that I want.
Photography too is mood though.
It's mood.
If you don't have the mood, you can't even get the pictures that you want.
It's being able to have a bride being 30 minutes late for church, and you tell her, you see this your makeup shot and this your gown that you've just put on now. I have a shot I want to take of you right now. And getting her ease up the tension of being late and give you maybe 2 minutes to take that shot. Most brides are tense. Their mother-in-laws are already calling. Their parents are already, where are you?
Yeah.
You need to be able to control moods. And that's one talent that I really, really love that I've developed over the years.
That's skill, bro. That's skill.
Yeah.
And it's not skill that I think many people have. I think it's something that you get with a lot of experience. And we're doing more than 200 weddings.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's sometimes you get to meet your couples on the day of their wedding due to inevitable contingencies. I've shot weddings where I met the bride on the day of the wedding, which means that you have the the duty of making that bride comfortable with you as a stranger, because you guys probably never even texted on phone, right? I just shot a wedding recently. The couple came to Cameroon for like 48 hours because their wedding had to be in Cancun, Mexico.
Yeah.
And the groom is not even Cameroonian. So the groom, just like 3 or 4 people, they came to Cameroon to do the traditional wedding. And the whole family had to fly out to Cancun in Mexico for their wedding. So you have just like 24 hours meeting and knowing the couple, and you have the duty to make sure that they feel comfortable and they're always putting on the best mood for you to get out the right pictures.
Yeah.
So that's like the biggest talent which I would say, man, I've amassed over my time shooting weddings.
Yeah. Anything which has changed negatively, which you might want to get better?
Change negatively?
Anything that you think should be better?
Yeah, there are things that of course can get better, but things that have changed negatively, I can't really put my hands on anything that I think is going down the road, because for me the photography industry, wedding photography to be more precise, I think it's on is it the leeward or it's on the climbing slope.
Yeah.
It's on the climbing slope. It's difficult to put finger on something that's going down.
And also, you even said something about price. It just came to mind that really in this sector, in the wedding photography sector, you get what you pay for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You get what you pay for. I know too, once your budget is different from somebody else's budget, you guys are not getting the same thing. That's facts.
Yeah.
That's facts. You guys are not getting the same thing. Let me just say this one real quick, right? This is something that most photographers might get angry that I'm saying it. But this is what we practice, and this is what clients will never know. But of course, because this is the perfect wedding, we want those who are watching to have a perfect wedding.
Absolutely.
See, the moment you contact a photographer and he quotes you a price, right? Like if you contact me for your wedding and I quote you 1 million francs for coverage, the moment we agree on 600,000, trust me, you're not getting what I would have given you for 1 million francs.
Absolutely.
You are not.
Absolutely. Because sometimes some people don't really understand this. Sometimes, absolutely. 100%.
You are not. The invoice might remain the same, all right? Every item on the invoice or on the quotation might remain the same, but you're not getting what you would have gotten if you had paid me the 1 million francs.
Yeah.
You might not even, I don't want to go down into the details, but when you contact a professional, right, and you want the best, that first amount he quotes you, that's how much you cost for you to get the best.
Wow.
This thing say not price, no, I want your last price, all of those things. It's highly consequential in our field. The moment you're reducing 1,000 francs from the amount he has charged you, a varied amount, a proportionate amount of service delivery is being reduced also in what he's going to give you back in return.
Well, maybe this is not going to be really wedding. In fact, for the brides, really, maybe for in the business perspective
Yeah.
of photographers, really. Photographers are creatives,
Yeah.
and it's very rarely do you see a photographer who maybe just like we say we are always in a perpetual state of learning.
Yeah.
When you get to a certain skill level, what you are thinking about becomes the business. I'm sure you are going to call yourself a business owner now
Yeah.
because you have a lot of people who work with you and
With
who
and
work for
for
you.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, so at a certain point you start thinking about how is it that I make this thing into a business that actually works in a way that you don't you don't in a way that your quality stays the same, or
Yeah.
even no matter how the
Yeah.
price, no matter how you get to the price, because believe it or not, in our society they will always knock price. In our society they will always knock price.
and it's
So
consequential.
yeah, and I think when you understand that that's something that is going to happen, and you start looking in ways to make your business more profitable and
Mhm.
not to cut down on quality or on the thing that you have your clients, I think it's something that we need to learn. We
Yeah.
need to learn more
Yeah.
in order how to actually deal with clients in a business way,
Yeah.
so that maybe even time the knock price thing where you be get for cut,
Yeah.
no go the way we normally get for cut.
Yeah. But the fact is something is going to change.
Yeah, something
Something is
absolutely
going
is
to
going to
change.
change.
And even if it's nothing physical,
Mm-hmm.
it's something in the drive of the
Yeah,
photographer.
yeah,
His
yeah,
drive will not be the same.
yeah.
You might
Absolutely.
I might shoot somebody's wedding for £1,000,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, okay, you shot this person's wedding, but please, remember you were my classmate in school. Remember we have been friends. Remember, I'll remember all of those. I'll reduce the price, but trust me, I might not have the energy to even swap lenses on your wedding. I'll be like, I might be shooting with a 50, and I'll be like, right now I want to get some ultra wide, all right?
Mm-hmm.
What gives me that motivation to switch my lens is the
Yeah.
difference in how much you guys paid. It's
No.
the difference in how much you guys paid. For some weddings, man, I'll
Uh-huh.
work with the strap and 3 lenses. I don't mind switching lens for every shot.
Yeah.
Right? That's the energy that the
Yeah,
back came with.
yeah.
Some weddings I'll be like, you know what? I have my nifty 50 here. I'll use this lens. I'll do everything that I want to do in this wedding. You might censor this part out, right? But it's the
Oh.
fact.
We are giving you everything now. We are giving you everything. We should leave that in. We are giving...
Yeah, but that's it. That's
Yeah.
it.
So what would you say
What
did I
can
want to
improve?
ask
What
again?
can improve?
Yeah, what can improve?
In the photography, in wedding photography
Yes, in
generally,
wedding
right? There is
photography,
this space for enormous improvement.
Mhm.
Enormous improvement. I think creatives, professionals. Let's limit it to professionals. Let's
Yeah.
limit it to professionals because creative is infinite. It's an infinite spectrum.
Yeah.
So professionals can earn more from the work that they do,
Mm-hmm.
and that is something that I believe with time we get better because like the past 5 years has witnessed tremendous change, and I think the next 10 years perhaps is going to witness even more.
Mm-hmm.
Planning for events could really get better. I think I'm getting tired the kind of wedding. I mean, if I were doing this for passion, man, I'm not sure I'll be doing it again because of out of 10 weddings that you shoot, 8 of them look exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's just maybe 2 weddings that will come off different, that will look like something unique. It's getting boring, it's getting monotonous. I mean, people should plan new kind of weddings. Like
Yeah.
the how do I call it? The basic framework for weddings has been overused, and
It's like deja vu all the time.
yeah, it's like deja vu most of the time. So event planners, couples, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to dare into trying new things.
Use professionals.
Use professionals.
Start by looking for a wedding planner.
Yeah, get a professional wedding
Yeah.
planner and trust them. Trust them. There are times as well that like in what I do, for the photography of an event,
Yeah.
I give couples suggestions like, let's do this. They're like, Massa, why you want stress me so? why you have, and like, they don't believe that what you're doing is worth them putting in the effort. But trust me, every unique thing comes with an extra amount of effort that you put in individually.
Yeah. So, what would you say is essential for someone in your sector, or someone who is wanting to become a wedding photographer or videographer? What would you say he really needs in order to be successful in that?
Practice.
Yeah, in that practice.
Practice. You need practice. You don't need gear. You need practice, because you could have the most important gear that you deem necessary, and you still go to a wedding, and the couple don't feel your presence.
Yeah.
Right. I've gone to a wedding. Let me just tell you this. I've shot a wedding with a 18 to 55 kit lens. Upon leaving, the couple gave me a bottle of whiskey. Like, man, your energy today has been something else. We want to thank you. They've not even seen their pictures yet.
Yeah, that usually happens, right?
Yeah, they've not seen their pictures yet, but they felt your presence as the photographer. Most of the times, couples pay you as a professional, trusting that you know what to do. And it's important that you make them see that you know what to do.
Yeah.
You might know what to do, but it's important to make them see and feel that you know what you're doing.
Sometimes you are doing your work and maybe around the end of the day, one part come and taps you that no, you don't work.
You don't work.
You know fine work. As in,
he hasn't even seen the pictures yet.
They haven't even.
But yeah, and that's practice. That's not gear. That's not equipment. That's practice. That's being able to manage moods, like we spoke about.
And I think maybe for some of our younger photographers, I think you start getting into the thing and you see a little bit of money and you're like, ooh, if you work for free, you start landman B.
Nah, yeah, I know how long. You know how much free work I've done.
Right.
Boy, I cannot count how many times. Like I've seen a couple, right? I don't. I quote. I think maybe 20. When the crisis had just started in the Northwest and Southwest, I had a couple. They were very young. They wanted to have a great wedding, but their budget was subpar. Like, it was below average.
Yeah.
And they wanted my service because they knew what they were coming. They knew what they wanted. I just love the fact that you guys know what you want. Yeah. It's unfortunate you guys cannot afford it. So you know what? I'll shoot your wedding for free.
Yeah.
Because I feel happy that you guys know I'm the one that will give you this, right? So there were also people that I had known before. I know they are well placed to give me referrals and things like that. So I'm like, you guys should not bother, all right? I have equipment. I'll shoot your wedding for free.
Yeah.
I shot their wedding for free. I gave them soft copy pictures. They paid me for some enlargements, which I did for them. But they did not pay me for the wedding. And that's because that wedding, I wasn't looking for money. I was looking to build myself.
This man has done more than 200 weddings. And so that means that you probably have so many experiences. And check these other experiences and tell us which has been your best so far.
Which has been my best? It's going to be hard picking the best. I've shot some amazing weddings. I've had amazing times with clients. But for me now, I think that the judgment of that will come to my creative side, right? It will be the one wedding, or maybe 2 or 3. I've had like maybe 5 weddings where I've had the client say, see, you have full control of what is happening today. Whatever you want us to do, we are at your disposal. If you want me to jump up the stairs, I will jump, because I trust. The confidence it gives you as an individual. I'm not talking about luxury. I'm not talking about money.
Yeah.
I'm talking about control.
Yeah.
As a creative. That's top tier of what you can give me as a client. It's not really the budget. It's giving me that confidence, that trust. I trust you in what you can do. Go ahead and do it.
Yeah. Well, that leads me to ask you what your ideal client will be. Who's your ideal client?
My ideal client would be somebody who knows especially somebody who knows what they want. I love clients who give me a clear picture. If you can even come with a picture and show me, this is what I want. That's my ideal client. Yeah. It's not about how much you pay. My ideal client is the one who gives me the vision to work towards. Or otherwise, you'll be leaving me in the middle of your events trying to create something to give you. Yeah. So it comes also to planning. for somebody to know exactly what they want for their weddings. They have a plan and they give you a detailed plan. I believe I am of the school of thought that creativity is a scientific process.
Yeah.
At least for me, all right? Creativity is a scientific process, which means that for me to create something, if I have 1 p.m. will be done from church, we have 30 minutes to drive to this place, we have to this, enables me to to be more creative. My creativity flows more fluidly than if I have to be surprised with things like, okay, we're done here, what's next? Somebody has to think of it right off their head. Now, we could come up with something good, right? But it's always best when it is prepared. When you tell me, see, we are going to walk into the hall, we are going to cut a cake before we sit down. Parents are going to give their speech after people have eaten. Even with which equipment I'm using at what point in time, I am prepared. I'm like, it's not guesswork.
Yeah.
I know that as soon as these people are getting here, I'm calling my assistant, bring my wide angle lens. As soon as I'm done here, pop, I'm switching. Or if I have 2 cameras with me, I'm switching. That's me delivering at my most that I can.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're not even aware, like worst case scenario, you don't know when their first dance is going to come up. The couple just comes to cut their cake and the MC is like, oh, una no go, now wait. So they will do their couple's first dance before they go sit down. And as soon as she's done, the DJ is playing the music, bam! Couple's first dance has started. Maybe you have a telephoto on you. You have to start going into the crowd to get the wide shot of the couple dancing. Man, that's stressful. You might come up with something good, right? But that's stressful, like, man. If you as the photographer, you know what the couple wants and their wedding is well planned, trust me, that's the best thing that you can have. That's the most ideal case for a client that I can wish for.
I just said that and I remember that on one of our episodes, your wife who is an MC, his wife is an MC. Your wife who is an MC talked about a little bit about the organization and everything. So I guess you guys talk.
Yeah, we talk.
You also want to relate to the MC to be like, okay, what's happening when, what's happening when.
I mean, every other vendor, the MC, the light technician, the DJ, we need to work together. We have to work together.
Yeah.
I shot the wedding where I've shot a couple of weddings where we've had pre-wedding meetings with all the vendors. And they're like, you guys are here. Anybody needs anything from anybody?
This is the person to
This
ask.
is the person to ask. Ask this person if you need anything. Ask this person. And I think that's great.
Yeah. And which wedding has been your nightmare?
The list is long. Bruh. I can go to a particular point in time, right? I think that was in 2019 when I lost data.
Ooh. Oh boy.
I lost data. I think I stopped work for like 1 year, and it's not the data loss that was my nightmare. My nightmare was the fact that my growth as a person at that time did not permit me to handle that situation as I would now.
Yeah.
It's that moment that I keep reliving and I'm like, God, please take me back to that time. Let me handle this better.
I swear.
You understand? It's not painful because it happens. I mean, I found a solution, but if they were to take me right now back to that time, I would have done way better things to compensate for those. Eventually, I got the data back, but it cost me as an individual almost 1 year of my sanity.
No.
I'd never disappointed a client before, and that was like first major disappointment. They had their pictures, right? I think the major thing that was affected was the videos because I traveled out of town. After shooting, I copied everything into a hard drive, put the hard drive in my bag, traveled with the hard drive in my bag. Came to Yaoundé, the hard drive didn't read.
Oh boy. Well, any young photographer or any photographer out there should know it doesn't only happen to others. It's going to happen to you at some point.
It's going to happen to you at some point.
So you better get prepared. Because I also lost footage and my God.
I don't wish that for anybody, man. I don't wish that for anybody.
Man, nah. Your blood boil. I means no.
Yeah, see me die.
If you know enter ground that time, no, nah, I swear. The worst case, even equipment gets stolen with.
Oh boy. I mean, I've lost equipment, yeah? Even this year, 2022, I bought a camera in January. It got stolen in March.
Oh boy.
Right? That was not as painful as the thoughts, the memories I have of that time when I lost data. Because I think I had like 2 weddings affected at that time. And it was just a series of unfortunate events.
Sure.
But one thing that I've learned, the take-home message is, as a vendor, as a business person, as a service provider, how you communicate with people is the foundation of your business's growth.
Yeah, absolutely.
How you communicate with people is man, I was evading calls. You know, a moment when I wouldn't blame myself back then. What would I tell you?
Yeah.
I lost your footage. How would I say that? I had to find a solution. And while finding the solution, the couple got really pissed. It's true, I came up with a solution at the end. But it's a solution I could have given them the very next day. So it took me so much time and things and stuff, and some severed relationships, and but it is what it is, man.
Yeah, and on the subject of data loss, please backup.
No, man. I don't play with that now. I don't play with that
like
now.
I found myself buying 4 terabytes. I'm about to buy 2 other 6 terabytes for backup.
Backup is totally important.
Yeah, so how do you do to get clients? I'm curious. I'm also a photographer, so
how do I get clients?
Yeah.
Okay, so where I am right now as an individual, the company I work for, Vanillaboi, the agency I work for, Vanillaboi Studios, it's a media production company, right? So our clients are not just weddings, wedding couples or event planners. We have organizations that have events that are coming up. We have people who want to do documentaries and stuff. How we get clients, or maybe I should limit it to weddings, since this is about the perfect wedding, right? Okay. Referrals. 95% of my weddings is referrals. Very few people see my work on social media, because I don't put my work on social media, because I'm kind of overwhelmed with referrals. So yeah.
like the whole of last year, because before that I used to do ads. I used to you learn about business strategies to get clients and stuff. And one of those strategies were ads and the social media thing. And I realized that last year I didn't have to do any.
Yeah.
And we are in December and they're calling me for a wedding in April next year.
Yeah. So when you get to that point, there's a point where your focus is to build. Like right now, I'm still building a portfolio, right? I don't have with the number of years I've been doing this, I don't think I've had the right portfolio to mass publicize my services.
Yeah, maybe it's just that now. You're probably looking at yourself and like, this is not enough.
Yeah, like this is not enough. This, because when I look at publicity, right, I'm looking international.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And if I have to publicize myself international, one, I've not yet had the kind of weddings that would fit an international profile. I've not had enough of them, and things like that. So I'm looking at basically referrals for now, because it's feeding the whole stream. And marketing efforts are mostly to just sustain the brands. So we do newsletters to tell you guys that we are renewing our commitment to you as an agency to serve. We're not really saying that please come and book us. No, we don't do those kind of marketing efforts. Our marketing efforts now is just to assure people that our commitment is to serve and deliver. And because we're getting the bookings even without those. So my wife recently, I think maybe you spoke with her already, what she's occupying herself with now is to building the brand image for the company that will suit an international profile.
You see, power couple. Power.
I can't lie. So that's basically how I get clients now. So it's a powerful tool, referrals, when somebody has their wedding pictures published and somebody else asks them who did this. They are coming knowing already what you can do. Yeah, and so when they come, it's pretty much straightforward. They already have an expectation. If not, they might share with you a new expectation, and you know how to work with it.
Okay. And now, this is a program about it's for the brides. Maybe I'm so sorry if we have gone a little bit very geeky.
Yeah, I think we should censor out most of these nerdy things we talked about.
we have geeked out a lot because we are photographers.
Because we are photographers, that's one perk.
So please tell our brides, what should they be looking out for before hiring a wedding photographer?
Okay, this is a very important question. Thank you for that. I want to start first of all by saying everybody thinks that a professional is expensive until you feel the cost of an amateur. You think a professional is expensive till you feel how much an amateur can cost you, right?
Yeah.
We're not talking about money here.
Yeah.
This is nothing about money. So what brides should look out for if they want to get a professional photographer? I think first of all, as a bride, before going to a photographer, have your expectations handy. Have an idea of what you want. It's going to help you because most often, I'll not take you serious if you just come to one photographer. You'll probably reach out to a few. You check out their work on social media. It helps you to narrow down your decision when you already have an idea of what you want.
Yeah.
It narrows down your decision. Okay, this person, I've seen his work. He delivers like this. He delivers like this. You contact the photographer. You look at your budget range. You know, once you contact the photographer, most often they'll ask you what's your budget, right?
Yeah.
Have your budget in mind. Most clients will be like, I don't yet have a budget. If you come to me, your wedding, you're looking for a photographer for your wedding and you don't have a budget, I don't take you serious.
Yeah.
What do you mean by you don't have a budget?
Your pictures and your video are the only things that remain after the wedding.
Yeah, so even if it's 100K, right?
Yeah.
It's a decent budget. You have a decent budget. Tell me your budget is 100,000. I'll tell you this is what we can do for 100,000. Don't tell me your packages. Let me see what. I'm like, no. How much did you budget? Be precise. It helps both of us to be very sure about how our relationship will continue. I respect people who come with their budget already, by the way. Like when you say, I have budgeted 300,000, 500,000. Boom, I have mad respect. This person already knows what they are going for. I know how I'm treating you. So we've spoken about having an idea. Second thing, having a precise budget in mind. Third thing is planning. Make sure that you spell down all the details of your events. This is not even for the photographer. This is for you, the wedding client, be it the wedding planner or the couple, to have a very good experience of your ceremony.
Yeah.
Plan down to every detail.
Yeah.
Time-bound goals. Like, by this time, what's happening? By this time, what's happening? How is it going? That's a very good blueprint to set out in front of the photographer that will help him or her to deliver as you would be expecting.
Yeah.
Fourth thing, communicate with your photographer,
Yeah.
right? Like, it doesn't suffice that after we agree on the price, you call me on the eve of your wedding. Like, the wedding is tomorrow, we'll be here. No, don't do that on the eve of your wedding. Communicate with the photographer. I have had couples who went to choose their hall for the wedding that already contacted me before most of the vendors they contacted. They get to the hall, they're like, this is the hall we've seen. We think it suits our budget and our proximity. So what do you think of it? I'm like, what's the color of the ceilings? They're like, it's white. I'm like, I go for it. I don't have a problem. We've gone to this council. We'll be doing it. They finally said on this day, okay, this council has 6 halls. Like, you're on the 7th council. I know that they have 6 halls there. Which hall have they said you do your wedding in? They've not yet told us. All right, while you're still there, make sure you get to the secretary of the council, precise which hall you want your wedding to be signed in. Let's not have any surprises on that day. And I'm telling them the hall which I know will be favorable for me to give them the best results.
Yeah.
So that communication goes a very long way to make sure that everything that the vendor, the professional, has to give you is in line with what you want. And also communication Communication goes again in the fact of telling your photographer every detail of your wedding.
Yeah.
We've had cases where a client books you, my wedding is on Friday, and then Thursday afternoon they are calling you, please, we have a bridal shower at 5 p.m. Can you just come and take a few pictures? Madam, you booked me for Friday. We don't have any work on Thursday. And they are trying to make some funny negotiations on Thursday. Where, how much can I add for you? I'm like, no. Trust me, you're not finding out that your bridal shower was that day.
On that day, yeah.
You're not finding out on that day. You knew already. Why did you not contact me? Because you were not clear. You wanted to get the best price that will favor you. And you wanted me to be on the disadvantage. And that's quite deceitful. Be honest. Tell me, I'm going to have a bridal shower. The day after the wedding, we're going to have a Thanksgiving. Let me know all those details so I am able to plan in time. Most photography professionals hire equipment. And I plan to go take the equipment on Thursday that I'll work with on Friday. You're telling me on Thursday I have a bridal shower. What do you really want me to do? So be honest with your photographers. Communicate well with them. And then as much as the photographer is there to put you, the couple, in a good mood, please try your best to also put them in a good mood. Feed your photographers, Massa. We are the one vendors who are present from 6 a.m. I mean, the way I shoot my church weddings, for example, we are there and we don't have time to sit.
Yeah.
We barely have time to sit. Yeah. We are standing right up to the reception. You're going to take food. The photographer is there. Yeah. Pap, pap, pap. You come and sit down. The photographer is there. By the time he wants to rest, the MC is picking up the mic. Okay, so while we're eating, we're going to call a guest artist to come and perform. Guest artist is performing. Everybody is eating. Photographer is filming. By the time guest artist is done, couple are coming to do their first dance. Guest artist is going to eat. Photographer is still there shooting. Be kind to your photographers. Yeah. Be kind to them. Think about their welfare, right? Provide them food, provide them time. Make sure there is somebody allocated in the ushers. Take care of those photographers. Make sure that even if they don't have the time to eat now, make sure there is something reserved for them. Probably, especially if it can be a table. Yeah. I mean, they are also keep a table for them.
So many weddings.
The photographer has to go. No photographer has to take his food, go and stand outside somewhere, and he's eat.
I swear.
Keep a table somewhere. Let the photographers, even if they are not eating immediately, because I mean, sometimes I go to weddings with a team of like 6 people. Yeah. The second team can be shooting while the first team goes to eat, and so on and so forth. So just be kind to your photographers. It will go a long way to help them deliver your work with enthusiasm.
There's going to be a lot more in document that we are going to share under. Sharing the listen. That is from Glen, one of the most experienced. Yeah. Right. So get to the link below. You are going to get a lot more from our discussion. This is just a little teaser of all the tips that you should be looking. All the tips you should get in order to get the best out of like your photographer. Checklist. We'll give you a really good checklist right under. So what am I even doing again now?
And pay your photographer as well, please.
Yes, pay your photographer.
Pay as well. Photography equipments are getting more expensive every day, please. I swear. We need to upgrade. Pay as well.
Photography is really very expensive, please.
Pay as well.
Those things that they are walking around and just snapping like that, those things cost millions. So
I'm telling you.
So any budget tips for our brides?
Budget tips.
Because like we say in this our media, and I said it before. You get exactly what you pay for. Like unless you are extremely lucky, and that is like the very rare instances. But what's your budget? What would you say is like a minimum budget to get something decent, even if it is not for you? Because you don't tell me say you do wedding for 1 million.
So wedding for free. I don't talk wedding for free too. Yeah, you know, hear that one. Yes, I should wedding too for free.
Well, give our brides a few budgeting tips.
The truth is, no two weddings are the same, right? No two weddings are the same, and most photographers will give you a quote depending on what you expect them to deliver to you. And my best advice would be, if you can't pay the photographer, if you can pay him how much he's asking for, please pay him. Don't let budget be your point of disagreement. As much as possible, pay your photographer how much they're asking for. Pay your photographers well is the most important tip I can give brides for their budget. But it's not also about money. Yeah. So like I said, my best case clients, right, is somebody that has a clear picture of what they want. So sometimes somebody can come to me, those watching right now, you can come to me, right, and you share me a very dope idea of your wedding, maybe a location wedding somewhere, the kind of decor you want, and I love it so much. I'm like, see, keep anything that I have for me on that day.
Yeah.
My focus is to make sure that I participate in this your dope event, right? Whatever you give me on that day, I'll take it. I don't have a problem with that.
All right, so tell them how to get to you.
All right, so I'm on social media, Instagram. If you want to get to me, you have to get through Vanillaboi Studios. Yeah, you'll probably get to me at one point in time. So Instagram, Vanillaboi Studios, Facebook, Vanillaboi Studios. I'm on Twitter as Glen Amungwa. I think you'll be on the screen somewhere. Twitter, LinkedIn, Glen Amungwa.
You're one of the few photographers based on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I just got to
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
You know what? LinkedIn, AFCON 20, this AFCON that passed this year, right? LinkedIn gave me a job. No, through LinkedIn, I got some clients from out of the country. Yeah. $1,500 remote.
Oh boy, I told you now. He's making things for 1 million, 2 million.
$1,500 remote.
That is around 800, 900,000.
Yeah.
So
they contacted me because they saw a post I made on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
One of my posts that went viral on LinkedIn.
Actually, in fact, well, this is gonna be on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So if you're on LinkedIn, and well, those on LinkedIn also get married, so
yeah, people on LinkedIn get married.
You're going to be seeing this on LinkedIn. It's gonna be everywhere.
Yeah. So I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. I think my WhatsApp link should be on the description of this video because WhatsApp numbers are so complicated to give when you have an international audience. Us in Cameroon, we don't add a country code in front of it when we're giving out our numbers. Like 677777303. Somebody out of the country types that and they're like, bro, you're not on WhatsApp.
We're just gonna put the link in the description.
In the description of this video, there'll be the link to a WhatsApp number to talk to me directly. And please, no matter what time of the day it is, feel free to text. I'll be there to reply.
He's always online.
Always.
I know for a fact.
Always.
Unless he was editing all night.
Unless the early hours of the morning where I always go to rest or something. But always, I'm always online.
All right, Mr. Glen, Mr. Vanillaboi, thank you very much for honoring our invitation.
Thank you. The honor is more of mine than yours.
Thank you very much for edifying all our brides, all your brides. I know that you have a very special place in your heart for them. So
of course.
Thank you very much for. In fact, I had no doubt calling on you for this because I know that you have a very open heart.
Yeah.
And I'm sure any bride who works with you is gonna always testifies to that. I used to see their testimonials. So
best believe.
Yeah. So thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for sharing your experience. Thank you very much for, everything.
Thank you too. The honor, the pleasure, and honor is all mine. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I hope you guys learned a lot. Hope you guys are going to call Glen for stuff.
If you call Nick will still call me. So no fear.
Yeah, you can call one photographer and then people don't get an agreement and then
you go
call
to
a different one
and
then you see that photographer that you put not have an agreement in your wedding.
And you're like, hey, I'm like, I told you. You have just paid me that money.
All right. Peace out.
All right. Bye-bye.